The Las Vegas Raiders faced off against the Los Angeles Rams yesterday in a crucial game. This was a moment that could have turned the season around and gotten the Raiders back on track. Unfortunately, they repeated the same mistakes we've seen all season, making it hard to watch and support a team that just can't seem to get it together. After 7 games, it's clear that the Raiders are the most inconsistent team in the NFL. Unlike teams like the New England Patriots, New York Giants, or Carolina Panthers, the Raiders actually have talent. Sure, the Panthers are struggling, but they lack depth and skill. The Giants are in a similar boat, with a shaky offensive line and a quarterback who should have been let go ages ago. The Raiders, on the other hand, have a solid roster but are missing effective coaching, and injuries aren't helping either. It's really frustrating because this team has potential. I believe the Raiders' season is pretty much over, even though I'll keep cheering for them until the final whistle of the season. If they had a better coaching staff from the start, they could have won more games. They should have beaten the Rams, Panthers, and Chargers. It's wild that they managed to beat a playoff-level team like the Baltimore Ravens when everything clicked for them. Yesterday, they nearly came back against the Rams, but poor coaching decisions cost them again. While the defense has shown some promise under Patrick Graham, the overall coaching issues are holding the team back. Now, Aidan O'Connell, who many hoped would be the answer, has injured his thumb and will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. This leaves the Raiders relying on Gardner Minshew, who struggled against the Rams with 4 turnovers. Minshew has shown he can perform well, even leading the Colts to almost make the playoffs last year. But he hasn't found that same rhythm with the Raiders. The Raiders have a solid defense that should be ranked higher than it is, but the turnovers are hurting their stats. The defense can only do so much when the offense keeps giving points away. So how do the Raiders fix this? With O'Connell out, should they pursue Ryan Tannehill? Personally, I don't see the point. He's not a significant upgrade over Minshew. Fans hoped O'Connell would save the day, but he hasn't proven himself yet, and neither has Minshew. The struggles are evident regardless of who's at quarterback, but it's not all bad. The Raiders have great players like rookie tight end Brock Bowers, who is better than most on the field. Jackson P. Johnson, our left guard, had an excellent game yesterday, helping to open up running lanes. The run game showed some signs of life, averaging 4.1 yards per carry, which is promising considering our current quarterback issues. The offense often plays it safe with short passes, but despite that, the offensive line has improved. They've faced challenges, but they're developing. For instance, I watched the Detroit Lions game, where Jared Goff expertly handled a blitz and made a big play. The Lions' offensive coordinator has a knack for designing plays that work under pressure. Sadly, the Raiders don't have that kind of support in their coaching staff. We lack the creative plays needed to exploit defenses, especially when they bring pressure. I believe our quarterbacks are struggling because of the coaching and system in place. Aidan O'Connell has looked bad, and so has Gardner Minshew. At this point, it feels like things can't be fixed. Sure, you could fire the offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, and hope for a change, which is possible. But Minshew isn't the same player he was with the Colts under coach Shane Steichen. When Minshew was with the Colts, he played well at times, finishing with an 8-6 record, even though he didn't start every game. However, he's not performing at that level with the Raiders. Instead of being a reliable quarterback, he's struggling with a 1.5 touchdown to interception ratio, which is far worse than his time with Indianapolis. So, what can the Raiders realistically do now? Antonio Pierce, our head coach, was asked about the possibility of tanking, and he insisted they're trying to be the best team they can be, even though they're not playing well. It's tough to criticize Pierce because he's new in this role and deserves time to develop. Coaches like Nick Sirianni and Dan Campbell had rough starts but improved in their second seasons, leading their teams to success. If the Raiders give Pierce time, it could pay off, but there's no guarantee. The Raiders could fire Getsy now and let someone else take over play calling. This change might motivate the team and reduce turnovers. Maybe they could even consider a different quarterback, although I don't think bringing in someone like Bradley Carter makes sense. Yesterday's game was definitely lost because of Minshew's turnovers. He was trying to make plays, but the offensive design just isn't good enough to support that. We have talented players like Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, but they're not utilized effectively. It's incredibly frustrating. The only real way to salvage this season, in my opinion, is to fire Getsy. If you let Pierce finish the season and he manages to win 7 games, then maybe he deserves another year. Remember, he's not a first-time head coach. He was the interim last season and had a decent record. However, he's not a play caller, and while he can motivate the team, we need someone who can design effective offensive plays. Right now, the offense is plagued by turnovers and penalties. The defense is doing its job, but it can't win games alone. The Raiders are currently 2-5 with a strong defense that's missing key players. If they want to be a competitive team, they need to fix the offense. You can keep Pierce for another year and fire Getsy, but if the next offensive coordinator isn't effective either, what's the point? Great teams in the NFL often have great coaches. Look at Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel, and Andy Reid. They consistently lead strong offenses. There are talented coordinators out there, like Ben Johnson, who will likely become head coaches soon. The Raiders need to think seriously about their coaching staff if they want to improve. If the Raiders miss out on hiring Ben Johnson, it means another team will have him, and the Raiders will still be searching for a good coach, even if they find a quarterback. Success isn't guaranteed without a strong offensive coordinator. It's frustrating to be a Raiders fan right now because the path to fixing things isn't clear. Since trading Derek Carr, it's been obvious that the team needs a quarterback. Without one, it's hard to succeed. But a good quarterback alone isn't enough. A great offensive coordinator is essential because they set the quarterback up for success. Luke Getsy has struggled with multiple quarterbacks, and that shows he's not the right fit. If the Raiders could hire someone like Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator, they'd have a chance to improve. But even if they did, there's a risk he could leave for a head coaching job after a couple of years, and then they'd be back in the same situation. The Raiders really need to focus on their coaching staff. I'm not convinced Antonio Pierce is the answer, especially with the penalties and turnovers. The players don't seem excited, which is concerning. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't go live after yesterday's game or post a film breakdown. Well, I had a baby. I welcomed my second son on Sunday morning. I'll be a bit busy for the next few days, but I plan to keep posting content. I feel odd not sharing my thoughts, so you can expect daily videos. My new baby got to watch his first Raiders game yesterday, and unfortunately, it was a loss. Welcome to Raider Nation, little one. I hope you all have a great day. I'll be doing some breakdowns soon. Paris Johnson played really well, making some impressive blocks. Brock Bowers had a good game too, and I think we've got something special with Jakorian Bennett. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.